Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 5 of Burn Down the Sandcast. It's your boy Miko, aka Alex, aka the original Yiffmeister. We got some people. Yeah, there's people here.
I'm also a person. My name is...
Are you?
I am. My name is Mike, aka at Rick Rolls Royce on Twitter. I'm gonna crack a beer.
AKA the Miker 333.
My 445, but yes. And we also have, this week...
Hi, it's a Mark, aka the Game Bun on Twitters and everywhere else. And I will finally be a man tomorrow.
And he'll also have really good audio this time, comparatively.
I mean, we fixed that problem last week.
Well, it's even more fixed this week.
Even more fixed is good.
Apparently, I double-checked the audio. It's about the same as it was last week, but...
Well...
It depends on how far I am, but it's good. It's good.
Bars.
Alright, whatever. Look, we don't have to get into the details. Yeah, so Maggie's taking a break this week.
Asymptosis. So...
Yeah, so it's just 3 of us. That's cool. We're fine. Maybe we'll get through this in less than 2 hours. Who fucking knows?
That's the play, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So,
we're taking bets under over 2 hours?
Let's not take bets, and instead
let's take bets.
Let's skip that segment and move immediately into the segment that gets us in through this podcast.
Alright, so before we do that, just want to throw out one real quick just update about the podcast in general.
Still the number one podcast in the US, right?
Yes, because we didn't get the last episode up until like 12 hours ago. So
Jesus.
Yeah. Turns out when we have 5 people, it's very, very difficult to edit, and it makes Mike's computer crash. So
My computer was okay. Audacity was not.
We're maybe gonna not do 5 people going forward. It kind of doesn't work. But something else is I did like a real quick, did some market analysis, and I found out that we're very popular among the Vorfurry crowd. I don't know. I can't imagine why that would be. Can you?
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, I don't know.
So we should probably adjust our news to suit their tastes.
Oh boy.
Hold on, let me load up for Infinity. We'll figure this out.
Dedede is buff. Who did he eat to get that way?
Kirby.
We'll say that for later.
I mean, Kirby is basically a Vor video game when you think
that is
about
very
it.
true.
So, yeah, that's perfect. Because we're gonna kick it into news, and the first article we have here is about the Nintendo Direct.
Oh, and China, you're still slacking. Gotta say, with the podcast.
Okay.
You got like 11 billion people. Come on, where's the downloads at? Anyway.
Where are the downloads
They're all playing MOBAs. Can't stop them.
Oh, shit. They're all playing Switch MOBAs?
Oh, no, yeah.
We'll talk about that when we get there.
The funny thing you mentioned about that... Okay, let's actually start this thing.
Yes.
Okay, so, there was a Nintendo Direct on Wednesday.
No, wait.
What?
How was your week?
Oh, I didn't have a week.
You didn't have a week?
I just did homework all week.
Oh.
Yeah, like, school's in session, like, I work full-time and I go to school full-time. It's kind of just...
I haven't even done any editing for the LP I'm doing. That's busy. That's how messed up it's been.
Yeah, so my week was I spent 8 hours editing a podcast and also had a dental emergency, so I had a great week.
Oh, great.
Oh, that sounds fun. Oh, wait,
Yeah.
actually, no. There's one good thing about my week.
Okay.
So people who don't know, I've actually been dealing with a bunch of shit this whole year with my body. My legs have been hurting, arms have been aching, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I take painkillers every now and then to sort of ease it.
Oh,
Not
yeah,
fun.
baby.
But this whole past week, I haven't taken anything for it. My body's been feeling pretty okay.
Oh, snaps. Good shit.
Yeah. Healing. It's good.
The healing power of a Nintendo Direct.
I think it's the podcast that's doing the healing.
Oh, okay.
I felt like Reggie's looking at me from the stars and giving me a thumbs up.
You think we can get the FDA to say that our podcast will heal you if you listen to it?
I mean, if you can fix my foot, I will give you a lot of money. But until that time comes,
I feel like there was an opportunity for a My Body is Reggie joke here that we kind of missed.
Well, now that you mention it, but
Wait, we're gonna cut this part. Game Bun, how's your body in preparation for this next piece of news?
My body is ready. No,
you just
Reggie.
Fucked it up. That was our one shot. Now this all has to stay in.
Yep, the whole thing. You weren't gonna cut any of it. Don't fucking lie to me.
I would have cut that if it worked.
You would have done nothing, man.
All right. Well, it's a good thing I poured the shot because it's going to be a long night.
Oh boy. Hopefully not under 2 hours long. Come on.
Sponsored by Mario Nips.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was a direct.
Yeah. Nintendo Direct. Let's talk about it.
45 minutes of stuff.
At the very end, which we're kind of going in opposite order here, but at the very end of the Nintendo Direct, they showed something that people have been waiting to see for probably, 30 years or so, which are Mario's nipples.
32 years.
Yeah. Thoughts?
So he either waxes or that can't be real.
Oh, he waxes, for sure. He's Italian.
Yeah, he's Italian. He's got to have chest hair. I have
Right.
chest hair, and I'm not even Italian.
But Italians also wax.
That's very true.
That's true. Okay, but where's his gold chain though? Is the question.
I figured he'd be like. Actually, no.
Please, he's at the beach. You don't wear a
Exactly.
gold chain at the beach. No.
You haven't been to Seaside Heights.
No, that's when you're in the boardwalk. That's different. When you're on the beach, the gold chain has to go away. You don't want that to get wet.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's fair.
Mario takes care of his body very well. This is what we know.
Yeah, he's pretty fit, I would say, judging by the picture.
For a fat guy, well, mildly fat.
Well, is he
He
though?
does eat lots of spaghetti.
Compared to Luigi, he's just like.
Well, I think Luigi's an abnormally skinny though. I don't think he's regular. I think Mario is regular and Luigi is skinny.
That's true. I mean, if we're gonna compare fatness, let's look at Wario.
Yeah, I was gonna say we got Wario in this timeline.
Can we not body shame the Mario universe, please?
I don't think
Thank
it's body shaming. I'm just saying Wario's fat. He's okay with being fat.
I mean, he has buff arms.
Yeah, he's buff too. He's like buff fat.
Yeah, it's the best kind of buff fat.
You know those dads and or really big beard and mustache aficionados who you see
Like lumberjack.
Yeah, where they got the belly, the pot belly, but they're also jacked. That's Wario. My other question is, now that we've seen Mario's nipples, does Bowser have nipples?
We've always seen his chest though.
Yeah, Bowser does not have nipples, right? But
no.
neither does Dedede.
Ah, true. Another shirtless character that we wouldn't expect. Nintendo's been doing good with the shirtless characters lately, considering also Link from Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Dedede has no nips, and Mario. So, do you think that's because he's a penguin?
So it's just fur?
I mean, maybe.
Penguins don't have nips, right? As far as I know.
I'm not a scientist. I couldn't tell you.
Okay, wait. I'm sorry. I actually have to find this out right now for my own.
Oh god.
All right, Wikipedia, what you got?
Penguins have. Oh. I just got. Do penguins have knees? Was an immediate result.
I mean, do they?
Penguins urinate through their nipples. 504 things you never knew.
Boy.
Oh, I don't like this. This is
Okay.
making me very upset.
I cannot wait for the DDD fan art of this fact.
Yeah, King DD nipping while eating.
This is some WordPress thing. All right. Do penguins have
Okay.
nipples legit? Is the question on Yahoo Answers. And
Okay, no, I don't want to be muscling into Mabim Bam's turf. Yahoo Answers is off limits. I'm declaring it.
okay, but the answer is no. Birds lay eggs and feed their young regurgitated food. Birds don't drink their milk because they are not mammals. Only mammals feed their young milk.
Huh. Okay.
So, I guess that answers why DDD doesn't have nipples.
Then a lot of fan art I've seen is very, very weird now.
Do you guys remember a couple years ago when Sears started selling vor art of King DDD on all of their merchandise?
It wasn't vor art, it was a DDD.
No, it was.
It was?
It was.
No?
King DD drooling while eating?
So what happened?
Yeah, you know what he was eating, right? It was a Wild D.
Oh. I remember the fucking, I never understood why it was called that till just now.
Yeah, so that's a thing that you can go research if that's before your time.
I'm glad I don't remember that.
Oh man, it was wild.
So what happened is that I guess a guy from China was selling these plates and stuff on the Sears site. It's like a sort of like an Amazon kind of thing, and people noticed it and they were like, "Okay, I'm gonna buy this shit." And he actually made it and sold it. So people have DDD fucking eating something on a plate.
Yeah, a Waddle Dee.
Gross.
Also, his dick was out. Is the other thing?
Oh,
That's why I assumed it was just fucking, but I didn't realize it was just straight up for.
that's an important detail that you failed to mention.
Yeah, there's like a little dick in there. It was very sexual in nature.
Like, what did you call the image? I'll probably just show up on Google if you just type it in.
If you type in King Dedede drooling while eating, you will find out everything you need to know about this horrible situation that occurred in like 2012 or whatever.
Alright, okay, we've pandered to our Vor fan base now. Let's escape from that.
So that's... Look, the market research doesn't lie.
Right.
I don't know what to tell you.
But we did it. We pandered. So now...
Oh my god.
Yup.
Before we get too deep down
So
this
that's the
rabbit
worst
hole,
thing I saw on the internet in 2012.
what actually happened during this Nintendo Direct aside from these silly things?
So they announced Doom and Wolfenstein 2 are going to be on the Nintendo Switch.
I wonder what Wolfenstein 2 is going to look like on a Nintendo Switch.
So, I guess to bring this back up, so Doom, like, I was so worried about Doom because Doom on PC is like 90 gigabytes.
Yes, that is a concern.
And most of it is just from the multiplayer, so they actually come out and talked about this, that the single player will just be on the card if you're buying a physical, and if you want to play the multiplayer, that'll be a separate download on the eShop.
And I was going to say, I'd also like to mention, right, that theoretically there is multiplayer on a Nintendo console in an FPS, which sounds nightmarish to me.
I mean, Doom was like pretty bare.
Sure,
Yeah,
I mean,
like,
it's
I don't...
basic, but
People
it's still like...
love the single player in Doom. People did not really go for the multiplayer.
Yeah.
I'm not
I
really
mean,
worried about
multiplayer
it.
was fine for when I played it, just that there were better options on PC. But
Right.
since on the Switch, you have no options. This is honestly your best bet.
I guess.
If I want to play a multiplayer game on the Switch, I'll just play fucking Mario Kart Deluxe, or I'll play
Splatoon.
Splatoon.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if
Like,
you want a shooter on your Switch,
then I'll play Splatoon, motherfucker.
a shooter where you actually have to kill dudes and not just make the floor.
Yeah, I kill dudes. Have you seen me play Splatoon? I murk people.
I know you do, but we still lose.
Anyway, my point is, I get it. Like, I get why you would just be like, hey, the Switch is a popular console, put my game on it. But also, like, I don't know. These games are part of their appeal, right? Is the graphical fidelity and how nice they look and whatever. I'm wondering what it's going to be like on a handheld Switch console. We'll see, I guess.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, one thing I'll give, like, tech is actually good for scaling. So I imagine they're probably doing, like, so it helps the fact that they picked these two games instead of, like, I don't know, Fallout 4. Exactly. I mean, I'm surprised they picked Wolfenstein 2. I just thought that'd be the first one.
Alright. Is there anything else anyone remembers from this press conference that was important? Because I'm trying to...
It was some kind of Fire Emblem thing, but
Fire Emblem Warriors. It was just more announcement stuff for that.
Like 8 to 10, it was 8 to 10 minutes of Xenoblade, and then
Oh right, Xenoblade still has British voice actors.
Yeah, the Xenoblade thing went way too long.
That was like 15 minutes.
No, because they started doing like the tutorial for the video game in it.
Mm-hmm. Like it was his own direct in a direct. That was the most weird thing.
They basically explained how the combat worked in it, and they also showed some cutscenes, and they had the Dad Dragon House.
.xxx.
Dad Dragon House talking
daddragon.com
about the main character. Anyway, it was, I don't know, it didn't look terrible to me, but like...
We'll see. Like, it's so... the fact that it's going to come out this year is what shocked me the most.
Oh, yeah, that is weird. That was surprising, for sure. Oh, they showed a little more of the indie games. They had like they talked a little more about that Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos shooter.
Yeah, the one where you shoot people and steal their booty.
They didn't really tell us anything that we didn't already see at the the indie stuff, but you know, they just mentioned it. And God, there was something else. I can't remember what it was though.
Because it was a lot for like 45 minutes to consume. Like, I'm happy they also they went back to the headlines format for most of it. Right. So like announcement after announcement after announcement.
They announced some Meebos.
Oh, Kirby.
Oh, that's how we got Buff DDD.
No. The Switch Kirby.
Yeah, but that wasn't... You're talking about the Battle Royale thing, right?
No, I'm talking about the other Kirby for the Switch. That's not Battle Royale. There's two separate Kirbys. There's Battle Royale on 3DS, and then there's the Switch game.
Oh, the one that had like the co-op powers and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was when I saw that I actually got excited about the combining powers thing because that reminded me 100% of Crystal Stars.
It's the only game that really does it.
Yep, and that's like was always one of my favorite things in Kirby. I thought that was super cool when they did that. So,
But hey, the most important thing? Yo-Yo's back.
Yo-Yo's back.
And this time, it's personal.
No, it's not. Yo-Yos are never personal.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean...
Yo-Yos are public use objects.
I can dream.
God, I swear there was one other thing that I was thinking of, but it's not coming to me, so...
Well, you didn't add it to the document, so I can't help
that.
you.
We'll just say just watch the direct, because it's... I mean, you can skip some of the big segments, like the Xenoblade one, but...
I mean, anybody who cares about Nintendo has probably already watched the direct, so I'm not worried about it.
Project Dad Path, which is a game in which you play as a dad. I forget his name.
Octodad is his name.
Octodad, and you challenge everybody to fight with you for your children's honor because you're a dad. Mm-hmm. And it's a... What was the weird buzzword they used for it? HD 2D, was that it? 2D HD?
Yeah, 2D
so
HD.
It's kind of like, imagine Final Fantasy VI, but like a... Fuck, what's the word for it?
Imagine you took mushrooms and then started playing Final Fantasy VI. It's like that. With pulsing backgrounds and crazy colors everywhere.
I mean, you know what it is, right? It's when they did Heart Gold, Soul Silver and had, like, they adjusted the angle down to make it look more 3D.
Yeah, but also, like, there's, more effects and, there's, like, 3D effects in battle.
Obviously, it's a lot nicer than a fucking DS game. I'm gonna be real with you.
But yeah, Project Dad Path, I don't know, that looks... I, actually, to be real with you, when I heard that it was from the team who made Bravely Default, and I'm assuming also Bravely Second, I was pretty disappointed about two things. One, that it's Switch exclusive. That made me pissed, because I don't have a Switch yet, and that means I can't play this game. And two, the fact that it was not 3D. That actually was upsetting to me, because I liked the 3D art style of Bravely Default and Bravely Second a lot. I thought the art style in those games was excellent. So the fact that they kind of switched it up here, I don't hate the new art style, but I wish that it was still the Bravely Default art style. I understand why they didn't do that, because you want something new, right? But
yeah,
that was a little disappointing to me. But it still looks very interesting, and I think the narrative they're pushing about, each character has their own unique ability that they use outside of combat to, like, interact with the world. I think that's a really cool idea for a JRPG. It makes it way more interesting than just talk to NPCs until they tell you where to go, or you get a side quest, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The combat, really quickly, briefly, I just want to say, they mentioned a boost system, which is almost identical to the Bravely Default system of, like, you cash turns in or save them up, and then cash them all in at once. It's, like, basically the same concept as when you play those games, so... Definitely made by those people.
Okay. Oh, yeah, 'cause I was watching Vinny play this the other night, and seeing, like, the boost system is interesting.
Oh, right, there's a demo out, right?
Yeah, that's right, I forgot.
I downloaded it, but I haven't played it yet. So I say, if you want to try, I guess one of you fuckers needs to download it on your Switches to bring it to my AGDQ.
Well, I have a Switch, but also I'm not interested in JRPGs the way I used
just
to be.
download it for him, let him play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm sure Dryzen has a Switch. He'll fucking bring it to.
I mean, one of you guys will probably have it on your Switches anyway.
Hey, if you think the boost system looks cool, Game Bun, you should fucking play Bravely Default, because that shit is super dope. That's probably my favorite RPG of any kind that I've played in years. That's turn-based. So
the thing is that I'm so afraid to commit to an RPG nowadays because I'm so busy.
Bravely Default 1 is pretty short.
Well, we'll see. I'm getting some 3DS usage thanks to a certain game we'll talk about later.
You can get Bravely Default real cheap now, so you should definitely think about it.
Yeah, that's true. I've been seeing it pop up on sale. We'll see. Because, like, fucking Xenoblade, I beat Xenoblade 1 a couple years ago.
Then you have time for Bravely Default, trust me.
Well, this was years ago. This is before I started school.
Yeah, well...
I don't think I had that much time anymore.
Speaking of killer apps...
Yeah, now that we're done with talking about Nintendo, let's talk about two ex-Google employees who have invented what they are calling the Bodega Killer, which is my new novel out this fall, co-written by Stephen King. Pick up a pack of murder along with your Camel Lights.
A 6-pack of murder.
So what they have done here is invented the vending machine.
Right. They've reinvented the vending machine and they've put a cat on it to appropriate bodega culture.
Are we talking about like a fake cat or just a cat?
Like a sticker, like their logo is a cat,
Yeah.
basically, with the word bodega on it.
Okay.
And then before we get into this, I just want to say, when asked, do you think that you kind of are appropriating culture of immigrants by naming it Bodega and putting a cat as your icon? They said, well, we polled a bunch of Latino people, and they basically said no, so I think we're good.
Yeah, because, as you know, only Latino people own bodegas. Nobody else. That's, great. This is a bad idea, and I hope it goes the way of Juicero, the $5,000 juicer where you could just squeeze the juice out of the packets with your hand. So...
Also, as a preface, let me just say what this actually is, in case you really think it's anything more than a vending machine, because it's not. It's... Imagine there is a glass case, which already this is terrible because someone is going to break this with a baseball bat and take everything.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But imagine there's a glass case on the corner, and you walk up to it, and you have an app on your phone. Of course, it's an app also. And you open up the glass case via the app, take out what you want, and there's a camera that sees you, which already this is a bad idea, because there's so many ways you could just, like, sleight of hand take extra stuff, but...
Or put spray paint on the camera lens.
Exactly. Theoretically, the camera sees you taking stuff out, and it then knows how much to charge you, and it charges you via the app, and then you close it, which also, couldn't you just leave it open? I mean, there's so many ways. This is a bad idea in concept, even without the fact that bodegas are great, and why would you want to get rid of them?
Yeah, like, no, fuck that.
Yeah, every part about this is bad. And of course, because of that, they got dragged to hell and back on Twitter because of this. Everyone dragged them. All people.
Yeah, definitely.
And especially New Yorkers were like, bro, why are you, like... you're creating a solution to a problem that already got solved by a better solution. Our solution gives people jobs, and also you get to talk about, like, basketball with them, and, like, you can buy one condom and cottage cheese in the same place. You're not going to be able to do that with this.
I feel like this is just trying to solve the problem, the antisocial problem, right? Not having to speak to someone, which is like, why?
Hey, you know what solves that problem?
Amazon.com?
That too, but I was going to say Postmates, or services like that. Do the exact same thing, where you just go, hey, go to CVS and buy me condoms and a package of cottage cheese, and they do it for you. But, like, you don't need this.
So I worked at CVS for 8 years. Nobody who works there cares about anything you're buying.
That
They're not
too.
even paying attention.
Yeah, like,
just go buy your condoms and nobody cares.
Stop.
I was going to say, you know what bodega owners have seen in their time? Trust me, they've seen something worse than anything that you're going to buy at a bodega and leave. If you don't cause a scene, you're already, like, in the top 10% of their customers at that point.
Yeah, pretty much.
So.
Also, those poor cats.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So, I feel like I'm a shithead for not realizing this. Probably because I live in a place that doesn't really have any bodegas around here, like, not many. But, because I follow the bodega's cat's Twitter.
Sure.
Yeah.
And like, for the longest time, I kept wondering what the fuck is a bodega.
It's a corner store, basically.
I know what it is now, but, like, at the time, like, I kept figuring, like, what is bodega? Like, what is exactly? Because I just kept seeing pictures of cats with it, like...
I would go as far as to say it's a corner store / deli, because it's not just a corner store. Like, they usually have food.
Yeah.
Like, I was reading this up this week on the news, because I always like read the news in the morning at work. And I just kind of, and like, I finally like, oh, put two together, like, oh, okay. Well, I feel stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, also, like, where you live, right, I'm not going to say you're suburban, but I think you're more suburban than we are. Bodegas are very much inner city.
You live in Hoboken. I don't know.
Like, I live next to Dallas, which probably has just a fair share of them. But, like, like, around here, it's just, like, the usual, like 7-Elevens and stuff like that. Not like a real bodega or corner store.
Yeah, like, I've got quick checks all over the place, but I don't have any real bodegas unless I go up to school in Newark. Like,
I mean, unless you count, there's a store up the street that might count as one. It's a deli, not grocery store. It's a small little deli meat store.
To be a bodega, you need to be locally owned. That is an important factor. You are not a chain. A 7-Eleven doesn't count as a bodega. It's a bodega when it's owned by some people who work there. It's employee owned. And
yeah, like if the owner is the guy standing behind the counter, or like he's there most of the time at least, then that's probably a bodega.
Yeah, I don't think that's probably not a bodega because I've seen the chain. It's a chain that I've seen kind of pop up around a couple times around here. So,
and keep in mind bodega is also, like, if you want to get into it, I'm not saying we should, but bodega is a word that is appropriated from Latin American heritage, right? It's Spanish, I think. I think it's like.
I think so.
Yeah, but and it basically means like a little store or whatever. So it's it's not
so much of nerds taking the word. Oh, go ahead.
The word isn't that important, like itself, because the word doesn't really describe. The importance of the word to the people. Right. It's about the culture of it. If you ever want to see a bodega, go to New York and like walk 2 blocks and you will see one. Basically.
Forget about the cat.
Yeah, and those cats. Sometimes there really are bodega cats. There was a bodega I used to go to right near my school on the Upper West Side when I went to high school, that we used to go and get egg sandwiches like every morning before school. That literally had a cat in the bodega all the time, and it was not a problem.
Mm-hmm. Good cats.
You can't lock a cat in a vending machine, I guess is what I'll say.
I mean you can, but that'd be horrible.
Speaking of pussy.
Oh no. All right, well, in what is maybe the worst transition into a news story that has ever been performed on the podcast, Ted Cruz likes pornography on Twitter.com.
Wait, let's start by saying this is not a surprise.
No, well, I mean, he faved it, so...
No, I mean that Ted Cruz likes pornography.
Yeah, no, he's a freak.
Look at his face.
Yeah, like, you know he's a freak.
Look, the Zodiac Killer liking pornagoraphy? You're telling me that's a surprise? I don't think so.
Oh, are we still doing that? Is that still a thing that's going on?
Is it not?
I thought that meme was long dead.
All
right, well...
My favorite Twitter feature, which I think I've literally complained about on this podcast before.
Yes, so, being a furry, I see a lot of furry porn on my timeline, and I had a habit of favoriting it on occasion, and then Twitter implemented a feature where it puts that on the people following me's timelines, and that's bad, and it makes me feel bad.
And then I see it, and I'm like, oh man, that is one bar of bear right there.
Boy.
I mean, listen,
I guess I'm glad I have a thing that has it separate.
Yeah, well,
the good move is you make a private account that isn't associated and verified, I'd like to point out. And then that's the one you like your porn on if you really want to, or you go the way of Ted Cruz. And he says it was his assistant or something. But let's be real. If you go and look at it, and you can find it online anywhere. Which, by the way, the actress from that scene responded and was like, "Why is my Twitter blowing up? I'm in a hurricane right now," because she was in Florida. Anyway, she looks almost exactly like his wife. So either his assistant really wants to fuck his wife, or Ted Cruz liked porn of some lady who looks like his wife.
Yep.
Yeah, it was mad funny.
Yeah. So don't fave porn on your Twitter if it's public. Just throwing that out there. This is a feature that Twitter introduced that is very bad. Don't participate in this situation at all.
I mean, if you don't give a you don't give a shit, just do it anyway.
Right, or if you don't care, just do it.
Own up to it. Just say, yeah, I favored it. Fuck you.
But yeah, be real about it. Actually, imagine how dope. I don't like. There's nothing that can make me like Ted Cruz. But let's be clear. If he had just said, instead of denying it, imagine if he had just went, "Oh yeah, that shit was amazing. I love that scene. Hit me up, actress." That would have been pretty cool.
He wouldn't get up 1 point on my "Do I hate Ted Cruz" meter.
I would have liked him as a person slightly more, even though I would still hate him politically.
Yeah.
Speaking of people who are pieces of shit.
Speaking of people who I hate. Got him.
Speaking of people who are racist as hell.
Oh yeah, true, actually. Yeah, I mean, you want to take this, Miko, or...
Let me do this shot real quick because oh man.
Well, you don't have to actually say the word. I think you're okay.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to say it.
That's probably a
so.
good choice. Maybe he should have thought of that.
Chug it. Chug the beer.
Because this podcast is like Let's Play adjacent, you may have heard of PewDiePie, the very bad, no good man who screams the word rape nonstop, but he also screams other words, up to including racial slurs. And he did that, and it was not good.
In this case, he screamed the N-word on stream, and it was very hard R, and it was very directed. It was not just like, you know, I mean, not that there's any excuse for saying this at all, but let's be clear, he did it in probably one of the worst contexts possible outside of literally just calling a black person this, right?
Yeah, and then I don't know if you heard about this part, but he apologized, and then 2 days later, very nearly did it again.
I didn't hear that. Are you serious?
Yeah. I just caught this earlier this morning.
You know the two letters in the middle of the word that are like the same letter in a row? He replaced them with B's.
Oh.
Like, what?
Like the ends in
No,
the
I
middle
get
are
it.
replaced
I
with
understand
B's.
what you
And
meant.
he
I
did
just
that
mean like
out loud with his mouth.
Like, what possessed him to do that? He's already getting
His racism probably is my guess.
Oh my gosh! Wow. All right. Well, you know that. All right. When I first heard about this news, I read a lot of the responses to it, and I think there was a very good response from the gaming community, but there's also a really bad response, right? Which is from a lot of people who were like, "Oh, but he didn't. It's not like he said it to a black person," and blah, 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 and all these excuses and free speech and what.
The usual crowds.
Let's be real. This is a big problem in online gaming, and the problem is young people who get influenced easily are taught when they play online games. This is my experience, because I used to be the kind of person when I was younger, when I was like 14, who totally would have defended him for this and probably would have used that word in online gaming. And so that's why I want to mention this, because I have totally evolved since then, right? You learn, theoretically, through your life and social situations and talking to actual people of color and whatever, that it's not cool to do that, right? It's shitty. It's the most shitty.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, and the thing about online gaming, right, is that's not what you learn from experience, right? When you online game, there's a lot of this, and it's not condemned often, especially in game, right?
Right.
Like you're playing Halo, somebody shouts the word at someone else, and the response isn't like, "Yo, dude, don't say that word." Like nobody speaks up and says, "Yo, dude, don't say that word." It's just become a part of the vernacular that people accept, right? So it's so hard to like. You can't put the onus on anyone, or rather, you can't put the onus, especially on people of color, to just speak out about this, because of course they will, and of course they'll say it's terrible.
They do constantly. Like,
yeah,
it's not the issue.
But what
you
need is people who are part of the online gaming community, who aren't necessarily people of color, to also just speak out against this. Like, yo, if your friend does this, like, and it doesn't just have to be the N-word, right? Like, anything, like, right? If they're saying, like, if they're calling somebody the F word, or, like, I don't want to...
Yeah, don't do that, because that's why I ended up canceling my Xbox Live subscription
there you go.
a long time ago. I'm gonna be real with you.
Or if somebody, like, you know, is calling people cunts over and over again, I get it, like, that is one of those insults that's maybe more, people might consider more borderline or whatever, but just in general, right, like, or especially, like, even just something as simple as gay, right, like, that seems, like, inoffensive at first, right?
Yeah, so, like, just, here's what you do. Just adopt the word shithead as your go-to insult, and that's not, like, particularly offensive to a minority.
There's a world of insults out there, and you don't have to target them at groups of people who are already being targeted in their daily lives for just existing, right? So...
Yeah, like, I get enough, I'm just exhausted.
Yeah,
all
exactly.
The time for everything I see on the internet. Please don't do anything worse than what's already there.
I get it in the sense of he's a part of this community, and he probably has been taught his entire life to do this, and so nobody's told him it's bad, and he's surrounded himself with people who agree with that it isn't bad. But the problem is, that he's also a huge voice in this community now.
Yeah, so like
That's
if
the
you're
big- yeah.
if you're just some like idiot high school kid and you say the N-word on Xbox Live, that's still bad. Don't get me wrong. That's a bad thing you shouldn't do.
But you're stupid and young and impressionable, and you can learn and become
Yeah,
different.
but if you're maybe a YouTube superstar with millions of subscribers, it's maybe a little more impactful when you
should
do that.
know better. And furthermore, not only should he know better, but now hearing that he did it again, which I didn't hear before, tells me that really this is not just a scenario of him not knowing better and and being like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize this was such a bad thing and I'm going to improve and whatever. He's just a shitty person.
Yes.
And because of his actions, a lot of people are being punished for it.
And because of his actions, a lot of people who are young and impressionable are going to continue doing this stuff and not recognize that it's bad. So the whole community really needs to speak out against him. Campo Santos, the guys who made Firewatch, are filing, I guess, or planning to at least file a DMCA.
Yeah, so I saw an update on this today, and YouTube approved their copyright strike.
Oh,
so
yes.
PewDiePie got a copyright strike for Firewatch because of this.
That is 100%. Like, don't get me wrong, like, there's a lot of argument over fair use, and it's not all cut and dry, right? But that is the kind of response that I think is warranted in a situation like this. You need to show people that it's not okay to do this, especially people who are such big voices in the community. So, you know, at least the response has been significant, but I hope that you and yours, can step up as well when you're playing online.
Yeah. Also, I wanna point out the game that he did this in was Firewatch, and people keep saying it's a heated gaming moment. There's no lose condition in Firewatch. You just go through the story.
The game he did it in was PUBG, to be fair.
Oh, was it?
It was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought it. Okay,
No.
never mind.
No, because he was making Firewatch videos at the time, so...
He just made Firewatch videos, but basically they were like, we don't want you making money off of our property when you are this person. That was their...
Got it.
Right. But he was playing...
So now, with the copyright stuff, like, I feel like that might muddy the waters a little bit
Yes,
with the Let's
very
Play
much.
monetization stuff, but, like, I guess we'll see where that goes.
Alright. Speaking of people who are defending Pewdie's free speech to say the N-word, where were they? Where have they been when Jamel Hill, an ESPN reporter, called Donald Trump a white supremacist on Twitter? And I'd also like to point out, before we get too far into this, that before she called him a white supremacist, she had a whole tirade and made clear-cut examples of why he is a white supremacist. She didn't just say it. Right?
I mean, even if she did just say it, she's not wrong.
She'd be right.
Let's be clear. She's right.
But I'm saying she even made her case, right? It's not like she just is accusing someone of something without any evidence. She even made her case for this. So now Donald Trump is calling for her to be fired from ESPN.
Okay.
Well, I think that might be grounds for impeachment, because then that is violation of freedom of the press.
Yo, can I ask you a question? When was the last time that you can think of? And I mean, don't get me wrong, we haven't been alive for that many presidents, but is there a president?
I've been alive longer. I've been longer than you.
True, but is there a president that you can think of at all, ever, who, I mean, probably there is, but I can't, I have trouble thinking of one. I'm not great at history class, who just actively called for silencing of the press and firing people in...
Oh, yeah, I can, actually, and it was before I was born, but it was Richard fucking Nixon.
Oh.
Yeah. I was about to say, it's Nixon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only one I can maybe think of, and I don't know enough. I actually read some really interesting stuff about Watergate recently, in light of all this Donald Trump stuff, but I don't know enough about that to have a great example of him doing that, but boy... Yeah, like...
U.S. History 2 was probably my favorite class in high school, so...
Yo, pushing the power of the White House onto a private organization to get somebody fired? Are you joking? That's crazy.
It's literally crazy, and I'm surprised at a lot of things that happen. I'm just so tired. Please stop.
And the worst part is ESPN is not backing her at all. They're doing the exact opposite. Now, I won't say they fired her, because they haven't. Yet, as of right now. As far as I know, they haven't fired her yet.
So, there's actually a good story to this part.
Mm.
So, they did try to, get her off the show for, a minute. They put someone else on the show, but her coworkers didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
And they refused to start the show without her. So, there are people inside that are supporting her.
Oh, yeah.
Even ESPN themselves aren't doing nothing.
And let's be clear, there's this big, like, argument, I think, recently.
Also, she said it on the show, not so much Twitter.
Right.
That's the big...
There's this big argument recently of trying to, like, make things apolitical, right? Of, like, oh, you can't... No, don't... Why do you have to be political? Why can't you just, like... Because fucking life is political for a lot of these people, right? Jamel Hill is an African-American woman, right? Her life is fucking political right now, okay? Especially because of who the president is and the way his policies have gone and the things that he's doing. So you can't just be apolitical. That's not something you can do, right? Like we talk about gaming on this podcast, but we also talk about politics because that's part of our fucking lives, right? So
yeah, so like there is so you guys might not realize this, but September 11th, 2001 was my first week of high school. That is when I became politically aware. That is why I am like such a crazy leftist.
I was in 5th grade when that happened. So body.
Yeah, and then so like when you watch Islamophobia like develop from nothing, it just kind of becomes like, oh, that's fucked up. I need to do everything in my power now that I'm 30 to fight against this because it's still happening. What the fuck? Why is it still happening?
Well, we know why it's still happening. It's because of people.
I know why it's still happening, but it's bad.
Yeah. But yeah, suffice to say, speak up, support, shout at ESPN, yo, because they should be supporting her and backing what she, yo. If you can't say, and it's not like here's the thing, she didn't say this on an ESPN show. She didn't step in front of the camera and say, yo, Donald Trump is a white supremacist, fuck our government, kill cops, 420, 9/11. You know what I mean?
I'll fucking say that. Fuck you.
I agree, but she didn't do that. She just said it on her personal Twitter. The fact that this is even an argument and she's even in trouble for this is crazy because she's just saying true political things on her own Twitter. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not like she went on Ted Cruz's Twitter account and started faving porn of his wife, right?
Yeah. I don't have a transition, but Game One, you want to take this next one on a lighter note? Maybe get out of this politics just for a little bit.
Okay. Hey, new iPhone was announced earlier this week, and I hope you have a grand to spin, because,
Yeah, so I'm an Android boy. I like to buy used Androids that are 2 generations behind so that I can get them for $100.
Hey, can you give me the actual price? I'd love to hear it again.
$999.99.
Or if you're in Canadian, and sucks you're in Canada, because I think it's like 1,500 Canadian dollars.
I thought it was 1,005 or something. Wasn't it like $1,105?
There might be some sales tax kind of situation going on. I don't know.
The Canadian dollar is shit.
Anyway, it's way too expensive. So there's 2, right? There's the iPhone 8. Can anyone really explain the differences to me? Because I didn't watch this press conference, so I don't know.
I also didn't watch this press conference.
So I was following Twitter when all this happened. I saw the iPhone 8 pop up, and I mentioned, but I wasn't following the details. I just remember when the iPhone X popped up.
Yeah.
Then I was following everything, because all of that just seems ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. No kidding.
So aside from the price, they also removed the home button.
Which is the only fucking button on an iPhone, and I use that button in my daily use of my iPhone. So why? Why are you... They're just getting rid of everything that I use, like headphone jacks and buttons. Why would I want this? What's the replacement?
Face Tech. So, to unlock, the feature they are trying to push is this Face Tech where it will scan your face to unlock your phone.
Okay, I can tell you several reasons why that is a bad idea.
Boy, I sure do love the NSA.
So they're trying to show off this feature, and it didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Just straight up.
Oh, well, thank God. That squashes all my worries.
Yeah.
If you can't get into your phone, how can a police officer?
So that's kind of all I know, actually. I really didn't want to follow this iPhone stuff, because again, I use Android, so why the fuck does it matter to me?
It can also see your face in the dark. Pro tip. Theoretically. Yeah, there's like an edgeless screen, I guess, maybe. I think that's the iPhone X and not the 8.
So that's actually why I stopped buying Samsungs, is because I think the no bezel thing looks horrible and I hate it.
Well, but also it's just a nightmare because it's like, yo, did you want the CIA to have your face? Because we already know Apple gives them shit to them all the time, so now the CIA can have your face too. As if that wasn't bad enough, right? Like...
So even if it's not the NSA or the police, like, what if your shithead brother just, like, picks up your phone in the middle of the night and scans your face while you're asleep?
Right! And now, so the argument that people have against this is you need to be, quote-unquote, alert, I guess, and looking at the phone, or else it won't work.
Well, how the fuck is your phone gonna know that?
Dude, I don't know, but apparently you need to be eyes open, looking at it, whatever. So that's the argument people have against it. But regardless, yeah, there's so many scenarios, like you get arrested, cop points it at your face before you have a chance to think, and boom, your phone's unlocked, right?
And then he deletes that video you took of him shooting a black person.
Or shooting you in the gut, and
yeah.
You lose. Yeah. But there's just a lot of scenarios in which this is crazy. I get that there's some convenience factor to this, I guess, but can't you just have the button? The button isn't bad. I never had a problem. There was a bunch of people when I first started talking about this on Discord who were saying, "Oh, the button, like, oh, the button breaks for everybody, and oh, it breaks all the time." I never had a problem with it. Yeah, I never had a problem.
So this isn't really so much related to the iPhone, but it is related to the button. I got a tablet because I don't know, I kind of wanted one, but it only has buttons on the side, like only volume, power, and no button on the actual device. Mm-hmm. It is frustrating.
What Android has done in recent years is they've removed the buttons from off of the screen. Like, it used to be below the screen. Now it's just a part of the screen.
Which I'm okay with. It's at the bottom.
Yeah, whenever your screen is awake, you just have, like, the bottom strip with, like, your home, your menu, your back button.
Like, it only pops up when you're, like, in portrait. When I'm in landscape half the time, because I'm watching a video, I have to actually pull it out sometimes. It's kind of a little annoying.
True.
Because I have the case.
So that's one of those weird things about Android where it's not consistent across devices, because on my phone, if I put it landscape, it's fine. It has the buttons there.
Mm-hmm. Like, it has it there for most of it, but like I'm saying, like, I'm watching Twitch on it. It'll, like, hide the buttons on the bottom to make it like a full screen.
Oh yeah. That's it does do that. Okay.
Yeah, and it's just kind of annoying because I have to do it from the top, not the bottom. That way I get the top bar, which will actually make the buttons pop from the bottom, and then hit the home button.
So usually when I'm watching YouTube on my phone, I'll just tap the screen once and the buttons will pop up. So I don't maybe give that a shot. I don't know. That's this is a hot Android tip from me to you, which may or may not work if you're not on an Android HTC M9. I think I have.
So I have an iPhone, and guess what? I have a lock button on my iPhone that locks my screen and turns my screen off, and I like. And
yeah.
I finally changed from a regular iPhone 6 to an SE recently because my iPhone 6 screen was busted. So I got an SE. I tried the feature of, I forget what the fuck it's called, but it's the thing where the phone is screen's off and then you bring it up to your face to look at it or whatever, and it turns on via the gyro or whatever. And I hated it because I wanted it to just stay off unless I pressed the lock button, and so I had to turn that off. And now a lock button is gone, and the only way to lock, unlock, turn your screen off, turn your screen on is this shitty face stuff, and it's my nightmare. I don't want any of
Yeah,
it.
so I have a fucking security pattern, because when I was working at the CVS in California, I was working in Stockton, California, which is not a good city to be in, and I left my phone on the photo counter, and it got stolen, and somebody ran up like 10 gigabytes worth of data charges on my fucking account. Ooh. So this is my phone. You can't touch it.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it's hell. It's hell.
And while we're on the topic of the future, let me hit you.
The future is bad.
The future is bad, and it has.
I don't like the future.
And it has Harrison Ford in it.
Okay, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Harrison Ford's cool.
Well, he flying a plane and missed the land strip.
But you know what doesn't have Harrison Ford in it? Is the Blade Runner anime that's coming. This is not a big announcement. I'm not going to, there's not a lot to talk about here. But I just saw this and thought this was kind of interesting. I guess the director of Cowboy Bebop, whose name is Shin
Megami Tensei.
Cowboy Bebop director. I want to make sure I get it right. Shinichiro Watanabe is apparently heading the direction of a Blade Runner anime that's going to come. It's going to be short form, like few episodes, basically an OVA. That's going to come ahead of the new film that Harrison Ford is going to be in. And yeah, there was just like a little short trailer, some, a little bit of artwork they showed off, but it looks pretty cool, and I think that's kind of the most perfect setting for somebody who previously directed Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, that makes the most sense. I actually can't wait to actually see what's going to come out of it, even as someone who has no interest.
I'll give it a shot. I'll watch it. I'll see how it is.
Gritty, futuristic space shit, like that's exactly what Cowboy Bebop is. So I don't know.
Taco Bell winning the brand wars? I'm down.
It seems like maybe the name of it is Blade Runner something 2055 or something like that, Blackout, and it seems like maybe the main character is a black dude, which is that's kind of weird. But that they named it that, and then the main character is a black dude. But other than that, I don't know. Yeah, it looks kind of cool.
We'll see what happens. When's it supposed to come out?
It's September.
What does it say?
So actually, it did.
Very, very soon?
I will tell you right now, while I look at the article, that the anime will be shown on the Sony Pictures Japan YouTube channel on September 26th.
So basically 10 days from now.
Soon.
Yeah, that's like a week and a half.
And then I guess it'll hopefully get translated soon after that.
So that is not this coming Tuesday, but the next Tuesday.
Well, yeah, fan subs or not. My point is it will hopefully get translated soon after that. Hey, so, Miko.
Yo, what's up?
What you been gaming?
Yeah, so I've been playing some video games. Maybe you've heard of like in 2003 there was this web-based browser game called Kingdom of
Adventure
Loathing
Quest.
that yeah, no, not that. So it was called Kingdom of Loathing, and you played it. It was like a stick figure, and you were like going around doing things, and it was like very
funny, random,
very 2000. It was very 2002 humor.
Yeah.
And I have come to find out that they have put out a game on Steam that is like a spiritual successor to Kingdom of Loathing called West of Loathing.
Oh, that's interesting. Can you still play as a pasta mancer?
No, you can't. I was very upset that you couldn't play as a disco bandit because that was what I played originally back in high school.
But this is like set in a different...
Yeah, so this is like the Old West, but with like a Kingdom of Loathing spin on it.
Right.
And it's like way better than it has any right to be.
So...
I'm enjoying this a lot. Oh my god.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of... I actually watched a Giant Bomb quick look of this game.
Yeah, so that Giant Bomb quick look is what got me to play it. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
They made a Kingdom of Loathing video game? Like a real one? And then I watched the quick look and I'm like, this shit looks good, actually. I might have to play this.
Yeah, it's like a Ministry of Silly Walks thing when you start a character creation. But, yeah, which I thought was kind of funny. But, like, yeah, I don't know. It's really interesting. It's kind of an adventure game and kind of an RPG, I guess.
Yeah, so it's like that's probably a good way to put it. It's mostly like an adventure game. You're clicking around, picking up items, you're going talking to people, and then there's like a combat aspect where you fight snakes, and then you get electrified snake skin, and you fight like a robot, and
you fight Jeff.
Your hat gives you magic. Your hat gives you magic powers.
The plot is you're going after a necromancer, if I remember correctly.
So, when Giant Bomb was doing the quick look, they picked Alice as their partner. So did I, because she seemed like the best choice.
Sure. She has a gun.
Alice is very concerned about necromancy. I don't know if the other partners are too. That's the plot thread that I have. I don't know if that applies if you pick I think there's 3 other people you can pick.
I didn't realize that.
I don't know if the necromancy thing applies there. I don't know if it's like separate storylines or not.
I wonder.
But I imagine it's not. I imagine there's something to it.
Anything particularly hilarious happen while you've been playing so far?
Not that I can think of. There's like my horse has crazy eyes that like spin around in its head, and that's pretty cool. There's a town called Ghostwood where everything is a ghost, including the buildings. And I had to do a lot of bureaucratic work to get like a visitor pass so that I could go to the store and buy a pencil to fill out paperwork so that I can order.
Was it a ghost pencil?
A whole bunch of shit. Yes, it was a ghost pencil, but it was a number 4 pencil, and they wanted a number 3 pencil. So what I had to do was I had to take it to the pencil sharpener and shave off 1/3 of it.
That's pretty good.
It's actually pretty good. I'm enjoying it a lot.
Yeah, I was thinking of picking this up after I saw the quick look and hearing you.
Also,
you
I've
talk about it.
put like 9 hours into it, and I feel like I'm not even halfway through.
Oh boy.
It's just way longer than I thought it was. But I'm also going through most of the side quests, so that might have something to do with it.
Yeah, that might do it.
I want to hear if you beat this game. I want to hear about it again because.
Okay, yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot. I think it's worth picking up, especially if you played the original Kingdom of Loathing back in 2003 or 2004 or whatever it was.
What about? Have you been playing anything else?
I have, but somebody else on this podcast has listed it as their video game, so
Okay.
we're gonna wait to talk about that.
Hey, so you don't want to talk about that game, but somebody else does because it's the game they've been playing this week. Game Bomb.
They sure do.
What you been playing?
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I've been playing a lot of it yesterday, and it's good. It's good.
What is it?
What's good? Tell me what's good.
It's Troy, Return of Samus.
Metroid: Return of Samus. Is this a Lord of the Rings game?
It's more like a Walmart spinoff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Return of Samwise Gamgee.
I also played this game, so I want to hear your opinions on it. Actually, wait, before we go, how far are you?
I am in area. I'm in the start of area 4.
Oh, you're further than
Oh,
me.
you're way further than me.
Yeah,
Shit.
I played a lot yesterday.
I believe you.
Yeah, I haven't had a lot of time to play.
So, like I mentioned this before, like I got a chance to play this at the Nintendo World Championship thing a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
But I was kind of worried because I was playing with this because you had to use the circle pad to move. I wasn't getting used to that, but after about like an hour, I finally adjusted to it just fine, and it plays really nicely with it.
Yeah, that's one of my problems is, like, I wish I could just play with the D-pad, that's all I want, but I have to use the shitty-ass circle pad on the original 3DS.
Mm-hmm. So later on, it's in World 3, and it's in Area 4? Area 3 is the... I keep forgetting where the area is now.
Area
Basically,
2
once
is
you
you run into the purple goop for the first time, because that just happened to me.
Okay, so I'm thinking of Area 4. So
That's like Area 1.
No, there's... No.
yeah, Area 2 has the goop. Area 2 has the goop. Area 1 is just the surface.
That's not the goop I'm talking about, Miko. This is insta-kill goop.
Oh, you're further than me then.
Oh, then...
Miko's in Area 1. It's fine. This is not really
I'm at the start of Area 2.
Okay, Area 3 has the instant kill goop. I remember because you mentioned this before the podcast started. So yeah, I'm in Area 4 now, because that one has specifically only... Actually, wait, no, because I think I'm in Area 5.
Alright, anyway, you're way further than
Listen,
us. Thought.
it's not as important where you are, so just tell us about the video game.
Okay, so yeah, I think this is the first time in a while in a Metroid game I've actually been lost. Because I remember in Area 2, I was trying to find 2 other Metroids, just like, and they were behind a bomb wall, which, and if I didn't use the new ability, the Aeon abilities, I would have never found it right away.
Oh, yeah, the Aeon stuff, yeah. But that noise, though.
I keep forgetting that it makes a beep noise if a Metroid is near, because since I don't have a mute, because...
Oh, really? Oh, man.
Oh, it does? Because I play my 3DS with the volume off normally.
Yeah, so anytime you're near a Metroid, it constantly beeps at you, and it's a pain in the ass. But it's not as bad as the noise when you use the Aeon thing and there's hidden blocks. That's a nightmare noise.
But it disappears after a while.
I know, but I wish I could make that my alarm clock for when I wake up in the morning, because it would work.
I'm pretty sure when someone eventually like data rips the game, you'll probably have that. So anyway, so yeah, I got lost for like the first area, and I went to turn in the 2 Metroids I found, and then realized, oh, if you do that, it'll tell you where the next one is.
That's exactly what happened to me. I think it was Area 1 probably. It's the one where you have to kill 4 Metroids to move on. I basically killed one of them, and then I was like, oh, I don't know where to go. So getting lost, I just ended up backtracking in general, and I ended up going back to that platform, and I was like, oh, well, I guess you turn in the genes here, I might as well turn this one in. And yeah, if you do that, they literally will, like, fucking sit you down, the Samus comes out, pulls her arm out, and then they basically give you, like, a you're an idiot style, like, zoom in on the map, and like, make the Metroid corpse flash where it is, and be like, yo, go over here, it's somewhere over here, don't worry, it won't be hard to find, and then you find it.
Mm-hmm. So, like, there's actually a reason, like, for the Metroid eggs that are lying around everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
If you, like, they will just start smelling if you can't find them.
Right.
That's how, like, and that's why the map knows they're there. Like, if you go back to that spot, you'll just see, like, fumes come out of the egg.
Yep. I figured that out. Yeah.
Also, it really helps the fact that when you're fighting a Metroid, everything turns green, so the minute you enter a room, like, oh, it's green. Like, okay, equip the ice beam.
Yeah. So, speaking of Metroid fights, Miko, you fought one. But
Yeah.
the first one you fight... So this game has a lot of Metroid fights in it. The first one you fight, you can just... Anytime it charges at you, you can melee parry it, and then missile it.
Yes, and then you can just unload missiles into it, and if you do that fast enough, it just dies.
Yeah.
So, it's been a long time since I've played a Metroid game in which you kill Metroids in it. Because my favorite Metroid game is Metroid Fusion for the GBA, and you don't kill Metroids in that game. You kill these weird spiky...
parasites.
Yeah. So...
The X.
It's like fuck, what's the word for it? They're gooey things.
Yeah. So, but the point is, they don't function quite the same, and etc.
Well, I mean, the X parasites they just take over things and become the thing.
Right, but my point is, they don't function the same as a Metroid fight when you're killing them.
Right.
Anyway, it had been a long time since I fought a Metroid. So the first Metroid fight, I actually was doing pretty poorly, but I made it through, because they do a lot of damage when they hit you, but...
They sure do.
Everything in the game hurts you a lot.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's the core theme of the series, is like, don't get touched by the Metroid, otherwise you're gonna be very upset.
But, even though it hurts you a lot, the first one you can just melee parry it any time it charges at you. So, it's NBD. The first one. So wait, no.
The first one,
the
definitely.
first one
Okay.
every time. After that, you run into Metroids that they charge up and they get all electric, right? And then they try to hit you, and if you try to melee parry them, it just hurts you. So it had been so long, and I was like, what the fuck? And also, melee parry is new. We talked about this the last time we talked about this game, the melee parry. But you have a melee button, and you press it when somebody's about to hit you, and it basically knocks them back, and you have a free chance to shoot them.
Yes, and I hate it because I can't get the timing
Oh,
right.
I'm boss at it. And it also makes shooting guys a lot less, which rules. But wait, before you go, let me just say really quickly, I had been a long time since I fought a Metroid. The second Metroid I fought, I died to. Because I literally was trying to melee parry him when he was electric. He was smoking my ass. He kept dropping that shit on me. I died, and I was like, fuck, why is this so hard? And then I remembered something that I literally didn't remember, which is that you can just shoot them with missiles when they're flying around. You don't have to melee parry them.
Yeah, it doesn't have,
right.
Like, it's an option, but it's the best option.
Right. So I was literally just like sitting there while he's dropping bombs on me, shooting the bombs that come down, and not shooting him, and waiting for him to do the charge where he charges at you that I could melee parry, which he doesn't have to do. Sometimes he'll just do the electric one 3 times and then start going back to dropping bombs. So, yeah, I just fucking died to that, and then I remembered how you actually fight a Metroid in a Metroid game, and I was able to deal with it, but boy, that was an embarrassing experience.
I mean, I appreciate the fact that this game isn't just straight up Metroid 2.
Yeah, it's very new.
Yeah. So I'm happy with that, because I'd never be in Metroid 2 vanilla. I only got to maybe like the 3rd area, I guess, and got very lost, because you don't have much real estate to actually look around.
Right.
Yeah, like I never played original Metroid 2 on the Game Boy, but I did play a little bit of AM2R.
Yep. Same.
And I'm actually enjoying this a little more than AM2R. It's like, there are things about the Samus Returns that I'm not cool with, that, like, I feel like the enemies are too often off of your lineup for your shots, and I don't like that. I feel like that's very upsetting as somebody who, like, played a fucking shit ton of Fusion and Zero Mission. Yeah, that's, like, it's just fucking with me too much.
At the same time, I really like the Mega Man and base style aim wherever you want. That feels real nice. So
it does.
Yeah. I do like that. Because in Fusion and Zero Mission, all you could do was like 45 degrees, and that's it.
And you had to like be running or whatever to do it too.
No, the L button was.
Oh yeah, you're right. No, never mind.
Yeah,
you could stand still and do it, but it was only 45 degrees, whatever direction you were facing. 45 degrees up, and that's it. Or straight up or straight across.
For me, the melee parry, the thing that I really like about it is, I think especially in early game and Metroid games, there's this problem a lot of the time when you're fighting enemies that are like kind of burly, of you just have to shoot them like 100 times to kill them, right? It takes forever. Even though I definitely get your complaint of there's a lot of enemies that are like off kilter from where you normally aim.
Yeah.
A lot of those enemies, in my experience, like the bats, the guys that charge at you, even the green dudes, You can crouch for the green dudes, but anyway, all these enemies, like a lot of them, have a charge attack where they run at you, and then if you just melee parry them, you hit them, and you literally have to shoot them like 2 times, and they die. Which makes that early game so much faster, and I love it.
This goes back to what I was saying before, where I am very bad at the melee parry, and I can't get the timing right. I always go too early.
Yeah, I mean, suffer. Get good.
I can't get good. I'm bad at video games. You've seen my LPs. I've made you sit through so many video games.
You'll get the hang of it. It feels really good when you do it.
You saw me play Strider. You know.
You weren't that bad at no.
I was pretty bad at Strider. Let's be real. The only reason I was decent at San Andreas is because I've played it 10 fucking times.
But yeah, dude, the new Metroid is good. My only real complaint with it is it doesn't visually is kind of.
I mean, I'm fine with it.
It looks kind of like shit on the old 3DS, and when I used that elevator, and the frame rate was like 10 frames a second, and I was like, you couldn't pre-render the elevator? Come on, dude.
I forgot the whole section. I thought that was like a movie. Until I realized, oh no, it's not.
It's not.
Do you also have an old 3DS?
I have a new 3DS.
That's why.
What, did you still have 10 frames per second for the elevator, though?
I mean, normally I wouldn't care because it's the elevator. You just you see 4 or 5 seconds of it, but yes, it's still there.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case,
I feel like it's not 10 frames. I feel like it's 15.
Oh no, I'm talking almost single digits.
It was chugging. It was bad. It was.
I laughed out loud when it happened.
I don't think it was single frame, but it was lower frame rate.
Samus is pretty blocky.
But I mean,
I like my original 3DS.
But like I said, I wouldn't really care because again, it was just the elevator scene. So
yeah, and I'll say the area backgrounds, like the general aesthetic of the stages, looks good. It's just the enemies. I think the enemy models and Samus look a little choppy. But you know, But you know what? It's a small thing to pay for when the game is really fun. So.
Mm-hmm. So I guess I'll say this. I guess we're almost on the subject. Like I said, I mentioned, I'm up to Area 4, and I'm ready fighting the second evolution of the Metroid.
Oh no!
I forget what is it called? Gamma Metroid?
I don't remember because I didn't play that far into AM2R.
Shit. Well, it's the ones where they eventually grow more legs and start crawling around like a spider.
Metroid 2, Metroid.
Yeah, Metroid Prime.
Oh, sure. So. They start trying to mix up the fights a bit, because when you fight it the first time, you just have... It'll flow in the air, too. And spoilers, when you shoot with the ice beam, it'll just drop to the ground. Mm-hmm. So you just shoot in the mouth a couple of times.
Easy.
Later areas, there are several rooms that it'll pop up in.
Oh.
So when you eventually find the Metroid, there are 3 different sections. You fight one, and it'll disappear it'll go into a gooey wall. Mm-hmm. And you have to find it.
Oh.
In that same area. So you have to basically start trying to find the bastard and then kill it.
Can they show up in rooms with enemies?
No. So
okay.
So they're only in specific areas. Believe me, you'll know, because the doors would be locked.
Okay, that would be pretty awful if they could show up in areas with enemies, just get smoked by these space pirates while you try to fight a Metroid.
Oh yeah, they're not. It's not that mean. It's also when you're trying to actually try to get around, you realize where the hell's the Metroid, and you just realize when you're trying to go through a bomb, a little room with a morph ball. You shoot this one little area and boom, it's just fucking right there. And then it just fucks off.
Yeah, also pro tip, Miko, I don't know if you know this. I'm assuming Game On probably knows this. But if you just tap the screen, once you have morph ball...
Oh, yeah. That I do know. That's way easier than hitting down twice.
So,
yeah.
I just, not that long ago, got the spider ball when I was playing, which, if you don't know what that is, it's when you're in morph ball form as Samus, you can climb up walls, you stick to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you played Metroid Prime 2, it's in there too.
Well, it's in all the Metroid Primes, but yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it's in all the Metroid Primes?
Yeah.
So...
Was it in the first one? I don't remember it being in the first one.
When you fight the giant, rock creature, you get the spider ball from it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you're right, yeah. I don't know why I didn't remember that. Anyway.
You can jump. This is something that I thought was super dope, is that you can... Because normally you can't really do this in Metroid. You can jump at a wall... turn it into Morph Ball, and then instantly Spider Ball and stick to it, which lets you Spider Ball onto stuff you kind of, not necessarily shouldn't, but, weren't necessarily intended to Spider Ball onto, which I haven't, found a sequence break or anything like that, but it's made some sections a lot faster and really cool, so I enjoyed that.
So, when you eventually get the Spring Ball, it makes it so much easier.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, I actually can't believe I actually missed the spring ball while exploring the first time. Because it's like the extra room where it's at is kind of out of the way.
Right.
But because I remember like I saw it when they demoed it back in E3. Like, oh yeah, that's right, it's here. Because what's this, that fucker from the very first boss in Fusion, he has it.
Oh right.
It's good. Metroid's good. Metroid's back.
Metroid is mostly good. There are a couple of stinkers in the series, but this new video game.
This is not good. Other M. One thing I will say, I did find one sequence break while I was playing. There is a missile pack, I forget what area it is exactly, where there's a bunch of slippy garbage.
Oh, the honey, like honey.
Yeah. And
the Metroid goo.
And there's like a passage part where you're supposed to, after you get it, you drop. Maybe it wasn't really a sequence break, but anyway, you're supposed to drop down after you get it, as the morph ball and then roll away, right? But you can go to that passageway as the morph ball, and where you're supposed to drop down, and you actually can still bomb jump, even though it's a lot harder with the morph ball. And I bomb jumped up it and got the missile pack early, I think. So
I think I know exactly what you're talking about, but it's been a while. But yeah, but people who are aware, they added some like yellow goopy stop surfaces to the area, which makes you can't watch up off of it. You can't spider ball up it.
Right.
It's their way of like blocking you or sequence breaking.
Well, they didn't block good enough. Got them.
I mean, yeah, there are spots where you just say, fuck it, I'm gonna bomb jump, and that'll work just fine.
So bomb jumping is in that game, for the record. Yeah, so Metroid is cool. I played a different 3DS game this week. And I played a lot of it, even though I was also...
What is it?
It's called Editing the Podcast. No.
Zing. I'll shut up.
It's called Metopia Editing the Podcast, and boy, does it suck. No, it's called Monster Hunter Stories. Do you know what Monster Hunter is?
I've heard of Monster Hunter. I might get the one that comes out on PC.
It's a game where you are hunter, and you hunt the monsters, and you kill them, and then you take their parts, like their teeth and their skin, and you fashion it into armor and weapons. Monster Hunter Stories is, and it's an action RPG, regular Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter Stories is not that. Monster Hunter Stories is a turn-based RPG in which you also do that thing that I said about killing monsters and taking their parts and making it into stuff. But also there is a Pokemon element of you catch monsters and make them... You don't catch them. You steal eggs from their nest, which is kind of fucked up if you think about it. And then, and then you to bring them home and hatch them and make them your own children.
So, like, certain lizards.
So, there's a good amount of monsters from the Monster Hunter series that you can make. Just as an example, the level that this goes to, you can't make, say, there's a little bug that rolls into a ball called a Conchu in Monster Hunter. It's like a pill bug, basically, but it's armored. You can't have one of those, I don't think. But you can have an Aptonoth, which is basically just like an herbivore, big, stupid, easiest to kill monster in the game. Doesn't even attack you, runs away from you when you attack it, and you in regular Monster Hunter anyway, and you just farm it for raw meat. So you can get a lot of monsters from the Monster Hunter series in this game as your Pokemon partners. And the combat is basically really simple turn-based. The difference is when you attack, right, there is a sort of rock, paper, scissors system. So you judge, there's ways to, like, you can use certain items and stuff, and also if you fought them before, you can look up in an encyclopedia that you have what their tendency is when they play rock, paper, scissors with you, basically. And if you win the rock, paper, scissors, you do more damage, and you get a sort of meter that fills up that you can spend on abilities, or if you fill it up to 100, you can then ride on your monster in mid-battle. So battles are you and your monster versus however many monsters or however many other stuff you're fighting. And if you fill up this meter, you go and you ride on your monster, and then you're like one unit. And if you win like a couple more rock, paper, scissors as your monster while you're fighting, while you're riding them, you basically increase your strength level or whatever of riding, and each time you increase it, it increases the damage of a big special ability that you can do. That's like a special skill. So like for the first monster that you get, or which I think is the same for everyone, but at least the first one I got is a Velocidrome, which is a raptor that I named Jeff Goldblum.
Oh yeah, nice.
Fucking course.
And Jeff Goldblum has an ability where he jumps into the air while you're riding him, and this is his like super attack when you're riding him, and he kicks him he fucking does like a sick. I'm trying to think of
Roundhouse
example, but like a sort of like Jackie Chan, like kick you like 5 times while you're coming down in the head, sort of a thing.
Ooh, like a Liu Kang kick?
Yeah, Liu Kang kick. Thank you. That's what I was thinking of. It's exactly that.
This is a bicycle kick.
Yes, and he does that, and then that's like whatever. And if you hit them with that, or you hit them with anything really, when they're downed, which means when you like knock them down, you get parts off of them and whatever. Anyway, it's an RPG, but it's actually a lot of fun. It's like surprisingly, the rock paper scissors makes the combat a little more interesting. It still has a lot of the Monster Hunter stuff in it, like combining items that you find around the world to make stuff like potions or whatever, and killing monsters and using their parts to make weapons and stuff. It takes a while to get going. You don't really get to what I would call like the real quote-unquote game, which I just got to, until you're probably like 6 to 8 hours in, which is not that different.
Oof.
Well, yeah, but that's in a weird way, that's not that different from regular Monster Hunter either. Like, those games take a long time to get started too, really.
So now, when you consider somebody like me who has never really
like
played a Monster Hunter game, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, if you like Monster Hunter, like, so the thing about this game is that they take a lot of sort of Monster Hunter tropes from the series and bring them into a turn-based RPG format, right? But if you don't like Monster Hunter, a lot of these things will seem obtuse and kind of like, you know, tedious and annoying probably, rather than kind of fun. To be completely real with you, as somebody who's played a lot of Monster Hunter, putting this stuff into a regular RPG wouldn't always necessarily be a good thing. So, but it's very charming. I admittedly have been skipping a lot of the dialogue, but the dialogue I have seen is pretty charming and funny. It's for kids. I mean, to be real with you, like, there's an anime that came out that was a kids anime that was also related to this. But all in all, it's a lot of fun. If you like Monster Hunter, you should definitely check this out. It has a lot of content, and it scratches that itch in a different way. So that's what I've been playing. And aside from Metroid, which is also good.
Again, everyone, Metroid is good.
Metroid is
Metroid's
good.
better than Monster Hunter Stories. I'll say it right now. And I like Monster Hunter.
I'm just so happy there's a 2D Metroid. That's all I wanted.
Yeah, same.
Alright, what's the worst thing you saw on the internet? I'll start. So there was a situation a while ago where Netflix had accidentally categorized The Babadook as an LGBT movie.
If you don't know what that is, it's an Australian...
It's Australian, like a...
horror film that's kind of also a psychological thriller, and...
It's mainly just a psychological thriller.
But it's really good. Watch it. Like...
But it's a horror movie, and it's not an LGBT movie, which Netflix claimed that it was for one day.
Yes, and the monster in it is a big spooky man with a top hat.
Yep, this is basically just Australian urban legend.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so, you guys might know this, that there was an It remake, that Stephen King thing.
Yeah, clowns
with
in
the
the
clown,
sewer. Yeah.
Pennywise, that thing.
Who is also a pedophile. So, yeah, but...
I mean,
look, let's not John Wayne Gacy this
well,
situation.
that kind of already happened, but...
Yeah, so the internet has decided that the Babadook and Pennywise are gay boyfriends, and I don't really understand what has happened. And
I do.
I feel like that's maybe a little bad.
Yeah, so...
kind of just...
maybe don't make monsters gay because of...
So the Babadook is cool. He never did anything wrong. Pennywise is probably not the kind of person you want representing the gay community. That being said, I know why this came about. And I don't know why it blew up so hard. Yeah, so some person, it was a Verret thing, somebody put up...
Oh, no.
I'm pretty sure this is what happened, if I remember correctly, on Twitter. Somebody put up a thing that was like, Pennywise, they just wrote on Verrit, Pennywise is gay and his boyfriend is... Or no, maybe it was just on Twitter, but they basically said Pennywise is gay and the Babadook is his boyfriend. That was just the start of it. Somebody else, of course, responded, DM'd them, and got very upset, and said, Pennywise is not gay, he could never be gay, what are you talking about? He hates gay people, he kills gay people, and you take down your post. You're wrong, because Pennywise is straight like me.
And that's all it really takes to start the thing.
And of course the response was, you're wrong, shut up, haha, idiot, and also now he's gay and his boyfriend is the Babadook, and they have excellent horror gay sex with each other, and it's great.
And they have an adoptive son who is baby Michael Myers from Halloween.
Oh god, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I don't know if either of you saw that.
I saw
but that was
an image
weird.
like that, but I wasn't too sure if it was Michael Myers.
I feel like it was Michael Myers. This is like...
That would make sense.
I mean, he looked exactly like Austin Powers, so it has to be Mike Myers, right?
Did he look like Fat Bastard or Austin Powers?
No, Austin Powers.
Did you know Hogan fears Austin Powers? This is true.
I didn't know that, and that's fucked up.
A sign told me. It must be true.
Yeah, baby.
But yeah, the internet blew up about it, and now Twitter is...
It got a little crazy.
Now it's a meme.
Yeah, now it's a meme.
It's going to be bad.
But now also Twitter is taking it back because a lot of people are going, hey, maybe Pennywise is not the greatest guy to represent the gay community.
No shit. Yeah, a clown who eats children, dismembers them. Yeah, good choice.
Like the Babadook, he just spooks you, and also he's a metaphor for. If I say that, it will ruin the movie for you.
Ruin the movie.
He is a metaphor for something, so he's not even necessarily like
a horror, like an actual thing. He just
He represents something. He's not just a monster.
The Babadook in urban legend was an actual monster, but the one in the movie is a whole different thing.
Right.
It just happened to use the Babadook as just a symbol.
Right.
Well, I don't know how any of that stuff works. I'm not really a horror movie person. I just felt this whole situation was
I just
weird.
happened to listen to people who review movies for a living.
Yeah.
And they mentioned it.
Just the point is, the Babadook doesn't have the same bad connotations that Pennywise does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was...
You'll be gay too, says the clown.
So this is the clown box.
Can't wait till they make Jason... Oh, I don't know. I don't even know what's a good joke here. I gave up.
Jason versus the moon? Is that where they can go with that series?
Jason Voorhees fucks the moon. Jason Voorhees is now... He vores the moon.
Wait.
Oh, Jason Voorhees! Oh, shit!
Oh, no!
We almost with this entire podcast without having to go there.
I did it.
I mean...
Okay, hold on. I'm checking something, which is... Yes. Okay, so they have actually made a Jason movie where they sent Jason into space. So my joke is
Jason
actually real. Yeah,
Jason X is
I forgot
up.
about that. It has 2 stars on IMDb.
Jason Voorhees.
So
Fuck.
Jason X is a movie I vividly remember watching and not watching because I was at my aunt's house where they had it in the background when they were playing bingo. And on occasion I would look at the TV and like, oh, this lady's face is now frozen and broken to pieces.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jason X is like, it's very stupid from the bits I remember.
I mean, I believe it.
Jason in space.
I'm broken now. Do yours first, Game One. I can't do mine right.
No, man. We'll save yours. Yours is next. Which I'll transition into yours.
Okay. MVCI.
The collector's edition got shipped out a while ago, and surprise, surprise, the gems are just plastic.
Yeah, so Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, this game already looks like a disaster in a number of ways. Every single thing about this game that isn't the gameplay looks like Duke, not the Babadook. Unsurprisingly, so does the collector's merchandise. Let me preface this. If you buy this game, and you bought the... Okay, no, wait, actually, let's rewind. If you buy this game and you just bought the game and you try to buy a season pass, that's already $90, fam. If you're buying this game and you're buying the collector's edition, as far as I know...
Wait, I thought the season pass thing was like $80.
No, the whole it's $30 plus the $60 for the game.
Well, I mean, if you're buying the season pass edition, it's $80. If you buy it separately, then yeah, it's $90. I remember this because I saw someone on PSN.
Maybe you're right.
But anyway, collector's edition, it's like 130.
The collector's edition. Let me just make sure I know exactly what's included in this because I'm gonna say
it's four statues. X.
No, I think there's
Marvel.
one other thing. I think there's like a book, maybe, or maybe that's just the game.
Yeah, it's an art book. I remember because it's an art book which has like concept art and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The four statues: X, Captain Marvel, Chun-Li, and Iron Man.
4 plastic statues.
The eggs of the Infinity Stones.
And Infinity Stones that are in a case. Now, the picture that they show of this looks very, very, very different from the finished product. It looks, I'm not going to say that it necessarily looks good, the original picture that they showed, but the figures at least looked pretty good. And the box looked like a box of gems. Mm-hmm. But you're paying you're basically, let's say it's 80 instead of 90. You're basically, in that case, that actually makes it worse. You're basically paying $120 for 4 figures, an art book, and this thing. So
each figure would be 30. The gems would be 5 cents, and the book would be like $1.
Well, sure. But any way you math this out, the actual finished product, I've seen an unboxing video, I've seen pictures, they look like garbage. The gems don't come out of the case, they look like plastic Easter eggs, they light up via LEDs that are like behind it, but they look like
really?
But they look like shit when you light them up. If you click on the unboxing vid, you can see that. They look like garbage. And the figures don't look anything like the figures in their promotional material that they had for this. They look like shit. They look like Chinese knockoffs. They're bad.
So it's like Year 1 Amiibos all over again.
It's rough. And again, this is like
it looks pretty
$120 that you're paying for this.
So when I saw this in the docket, you reminded me of the other CEs that are out there. So I posted a couple alongside yours.
Yep. I know what you're talking about. Yep. I don't even need to click on this to know, but yes.
So the first one, I guess if you haven't clicked it, the first one is Witcher 2. Someone had got his statue. Like the picture looks like it's a bust of Geralt's head. So when someone got it, it looked like a weird like mishmash of like someone's face got smushed.
It basically looks like the clay didn't finish while they were molding it, and then they put it in the box before it was finished, and it just melted in the box.
I think I was wondering, like, was it damaged? And like, no, there's no other pieces to it. This is what you got, buddy. Mm-hmm. And then the other one is the infamous one, the Dark Souls 3 flask. Which is just the tiniest fucking nothing piece of plastic garbage ever. So when I saw that, someone had posted below it like a little like lemon, like a lemon-shaped water container with almost the same exact texture as this thing. But it holds water. Wow. This doesn't. Hey, actually, that is relevant because the texture of the Infinity Stones is also like a lemon. Mm-hmm. But the thing that makes the Dark Souls 1 more, because it's the fact it didn't come with the game. It's just like a collector's edition, no game included. That's pretty bad, but how much did it cost? I think it was like 120, 130.
Oh.
Yeah, that's about as bad as this.
Mm-hmm. At least the freaking stones light up.
Collector's editions are a rip, and this one is too. I just saw that and I couldn't believe how... It's just one of those things where it's like, everything surrounding this game is already so bad, you would hope they could at least get this right, and they couldn't even get this right. So along with that, I mentioned I posted one good one that I did like, and that was the Fallout New Vegas Collector's Edition. That one's okay. I mean, whatever, you get a pack of cards at least out of that one. Some play chips that look really nice with the game, and then a making of. Yeah. I think the other one I would probably mention is the Sonic Mini one, because it's like $60. Yeah. For the CE. Mm. And it has a really sturdy built Sonic on top of a Genesis, which is not that bad. But for $60, that's not too shabby. Yeah. So what is your best of the worst? So Miko had mentioned So Miko had mentioned like three that had like a best of the worst. No, you can't. I found 3 things. You can't say that. You can't do. No, we're gonna get fucking.
No, it's just the worst.
Somebody's gonna get us if we say that. You can't say that. No, a best of the week, or best of the internet, or the worst of the internet. So I found 3 things that kind of fit that category. Uh-huh.
So the first one, I was just like browsing around, like it's a WebM, but the way it's as someone who's going into modeling right now, yeah,
it's like a poop almost, kind of.
It's not just that. This is when you go balls deep.
Oh no. You shouldn't do that. That's not. You can't do that. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
It's the fact that the top ball is just trying to slowly push it the other one down is what gets to me.
No, my problem is when the second ball can't make it out.
No, but like when it goes down the first time, the first one, it's just you have to shove it down the speaker.
Yeah, but when the second one can't get out, that's the bad one for me.
So, anal beads, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's definitely terrible.
All right.
So the second one, since I discovered today, I was going through a bunch of stuff.
I've heard this already, but continue.
Yeah. It's what I like it. It's a Sonic Forces fist bump. It's the main thing. Like, it's catchy. I can't stop listening to it.
It's definitely catchy, but it's also not Crush 40.
But
so this is the worst thing on the
internet.
internet.
But if it's not Crush 40, then who is it? Tell
Japanese
me,
Crush
please. 40. No, it's Hoobastank.
Are you sure? Because it sounds like Japanese Crush 40.
When I clicked on that video, it said featuring the guy from Hoobastank, so I'm pretty sure it's Hoobastank.
It might just... They got a guess before. I have to look it up and check. Okay.
It said it in the video. It wasn't like in the description.
So Sonic Force is continuing the tradition of hiring...
Yeah, featuring Douglas Robb from Hoobastank. If you fast forward to 10 seconds, it's just there.
Just some good old-fashioned butt rock. I love it.
And finally...
So this was something I've been keeping up for the last couple of weeks. So, Miko and I know this for a while. The new Powerpuff Girls is shit. Looks like
shit.
New
Powerpuff Girls, right? Yeah.
It looks very bad.
I haven't seen any of it. I didn't even know this was a thing, by the way.
I also have not seen any of it except for the particularly bad scenes that find their way to my Twitter timeline.
Yeah, like this is very poorly put together. Like, from what I remember, they got some people off of Tumblr, like, hey, you want a job? Here, put this together. And they went to work. So Cartoon Network's been trying to slowly advertise this fourth character. And this picture is what leaked out a while ago. Just look at it.
Nice haircut. But, like, who is this? Is this a new Powerpuff Girl?
That's what they're trying to advertise this. Her name is Bliss.
Okay.
Like, I recently mentioned this because I have a weird thing where, like, I'm noticing just, like, I want to get into this kind of medium eventually at some point. This is what I'm working on is college.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing shit like this get greenlit. The fact that this is what they think people want. It's kind of depressing.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just another Powerpuff Girl. I mean, maybe I just don't have as much of an attachment to the Powerpuff Girls. But
I don't either. To be honest, it's just the fact that
I might be the only one here that does because of how much older I am than you two.
I mean, I've seen the Powerpuff Girls, a lot of it, but I just just the idea of a new Powerpuff Girl to me doesn't make me cringe. I'm just like, okay, well,
it's the fact that they're trying so hard to shove this as the fourth thing. That they're marketing this very hard.
Yeah,
because the show is. So let's put it this way: the show has gone so bad that they shoved it to Sundays in between movie premieres.
Wow.
Ooh.
So they've been trying to slowly kill it off, and they're trying to push this as this is also going to be on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but also if you're the kind of child like me, where I was just literally either flipping between Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon literally my entire childhood, whether or not it was Sunday or not, it doesn't matter.
So, the fact that they're really trying, I feel like they're trying to appeal a certain audience.
So, let me put it to you like this. This new Powerpuff Girl looks like somebody that should be on Steven Universe instead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does look like a Steven Universe character. You're right.
This should be a crystal gem that is introduced in Steven Universe.
I guess the best way, this looks like someone's OC.
That's a good way to put it. This does actually look like someone's OC. Which, I get it, I guess, considering the people who are working on this. You know what I mean? Like, they kind of are fans working on it, so, the fact they would try to put an OC in kind of makes sense. But also, don't put that into a show that's on television.
This is a show where one of the writers and producers happened to put himself in as a character.
Oh
How
yeah,
much
I
is
read
left?
about that. Oh, it was the worst.
Oh fuck, that's right. Oh,
I didn't
my
realize
God.
this was the same thing. Holy shit!
And this is one of the episodes he is writing on, I believe.
Wow.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, everything makes sense. Yep, this checks out. This is bad.
So this will premiere
Continue.
tomorrow, so I will let you know how bad it gets.
Okay.
Which,
I mean, I prefer if you didn't.
I mean, that's fine, because
to be honest.
you won't know. I mean, if I don't tell you, Twitter will tell you. You know that.
I mean, you know, I can just not look at Twitter tomorrow. That's fine.
Okay.
But it's my birthday tomorrow.
Oh yeah, happy birthday.
Yeah.
Let's close this sucker out.
Yeah. So you might be wondering, isn't this where the email segment would go? We uploaded the last episode yesterday, and I have no emails about the topic, which was what is your favorite Twitter account to follow? So that's still going to be open until, look at calendar here. We're going to say the 23rd.
Yeah.
The 23rd of September is when the deadline for that is. So get your emails in, podcast@burndownthesandcastle.info. Or you can go to burndownthesandcastle.info and you click on the web form to submit an email.
So hey, it makes it more interesting. You don't have to submit just one Twitter. You can submit just like 2 or 3.
No, how about just one? How about just one Twitter per person?
Yeah, no, this podcast's long enough as it is. Let's not try and ruin everything. I do.
We have our own Twitters that we really like, our own accounts that we follow. So we'll do those this week. So
yeah, so we got a couple of good ones here, and you just
Game On, why don't you start? I think yours is a good start.
Oh, we doing that now, or are we just ending the podcast?
No, we're gonna do ours this week.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna use Twitter just to follow for like deals and stuff because. You know, I like stuff on the cheap.
Yeah, get them deals, boy.
So Warrior64, friend of the show,
at
Warrior64.
Thank you.
So he will post updates. Okay, he will post updates on stuff that's on sale. You know, like whatever he can just have us to find. And I wish I followed him sooner, like because I actually had my phone set up so that way whenever he tweets, I get a notification.
Right.
It's just him. Because earlier this week there was a thing where Amazon fucked up and they had an Xbox One for like nothing.
When you say nothing, what do you mean? Oh right, yeah. Oh yeah, I read about this. Yeah.
I think apparently some people got it. I have to double check. I don't know who got it or not, but.
So I did a couple of years ago manage to get Splinter Cell Conviction for $1 because of a fuck up on the Ubisoft store. So. It's possible.
Yeah. I mean, I got Crash back during the Amazon fuck up on Amazon Prime Day for like $6 to $10. It was brand new, like for $40. So, hey. You gotta follow Warrior64 for those sweet deals.
Yeah, and he also just, he follows a lot of gaming news, so sometimes he also just posts like, Yeah, little gaming things like that. He's a great account to follow if you give a shit about gaming in general. I also follow him.
I also thanked him because of him I got a new laptop a couple of years ago.
Hey,
and
nice.
That came with a Xbox One, which I sold for a PS4.
Nice.
So I'm gonna do my account because I think Miko has the best answer here.
I do, because, so I feel like if I was not the one controlling the Google Doc and creating it, you would have gotten this in before
Miko
me.
sniped my answer, especially because I knew about this account before him, but whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, but I'm the one, we're using my Google Docs account for
Accurate.
the podcast, so suck it, I guess.
So my Twitter account that I like to follow is @Satou0, which is SATTOU0. And I love this account because this guy is a Japanese artist. I know this based on the fact that he types in Japanese and he posts art. And all he posts are like these images of characters from different things, like from different media, like, you know, and he even posts like, he recently posted a picture of the 10,000 yen bill, and
I see Akinator.
Yeah,
on here.
Akinator. Yeah, like you name it. Like just every.
We got Brock from Pokemon. We got I don't know who that is.
The best one is still the Phoenix Wright one.
Just everything. The Minecraft guy.
Minecraft boy.
Yeah, just everything.
Yeah.
But Phoenix Wright, Edgeworth, and the Judge. But he just posts all this stuff, and Sorry, one more. Tuxedo Mask.
You're scrolling through at the same rate as me.
Powerpuff
Good job.
Girls, also related topic. And all
Trigun. You got Trigun right
and
below
all
it.
the one below that is Final Fantasy VI.
Oh my god, the squall is pretty good.
And all he does is
Solid
post these
Snake!
pictures of this stuff, and the art is all it's these things, but they're just the biggest men. They have huge shoulders. Like there's one of Finn and Jake where they're so tall that they're in the clouds. And Jake is so wide he takes up the entire frame of the picture. You can only see part of one of his chest muscles because he's so huge, and it's just like they're so funny. Like every time he posts something, it's an immediate like a retweet for me because it's so great. There's one of Salt Bay that's super funny. Oh, and also as a related topic, they all have really tiny heads. So it's like gigantic shoulders, huge torso, often all equally big arms, but then the heads are like really tiny. And it's just a great art style and super funny. So, big chins is another thing he does.
Oh yeah,
Check him out. It's great. He's a hilarious account. And Miko, you can take it away.
Yes, so there's a rapper named DVS who has probably the best Twitter account in the entire fucking world.
He's basically Drill.
He just yeah, so if you watch the San Andreas LP, that was on for most of the first half of it in the user track player is his album DVTV, which is very good. It's probably my favorite album of 2015 actually.
Oh, you mean 2015 through current?
Yeah. My favorite album that came out in 2015,
Sure, there you
let's
go.
say. So I'm just gonna give you a taste of a couple of these because they're really good. We'll start with the one that got me into it. Okay. 15th of June, 2015, 11:13 p.m. How my phone gonna tell me, want to text a landline? You can. 25 cents. Why don't I just dip a quarter in ketchup and swallow it if we're being wasteful?
yow.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what got me
More.
on board. Yes, so I'm just gonna go to current.
There was one I told you to save that was so funny.
I missed it. What was it? Do you have it?
Let me try to find it really quick. It should only take me a second. Oh, this one's pretty good. This is a recent one. The Juggalos are melting and merging together. Now they become one. Now they're hardening. 1,000 feet tall, the Juggle addresses the crowd.
Did he ask for Fago?
No. Here's one I was looking for. The doctor argues my let horses bite me until I am immune to their venom health strategy. But as his office fills with horses, only I remain calm.
That's the one you told me about. Yep, I remember now. Okay, let's pick a couple of really recent ones, like today. Let's see here. Okay.
So we just have a DBS tweet of the week.
We could do that, but I think that might be a little too much. You know what I'm saying?
Not bad. I don't.
Because then, what do people need us for? They can just follow
Yeah.
DBS, right?
Tips for if you are fishing and catch a magic wish-granting baby. 1. Cool, but I don't need to hear about it. 2. Sick of your brags. 3. I caught one too, you know.
Okay, I got a two-parter for you.
Oh god.
When I was a kid and I first learned about the hand-to-hand, I tried to carry out every transaction this way. Cashiers did not appreciate it. 12 years old with a folded-up dollar trying to shake hands with the cashier to buy a soda, and she just distracted from my palm with her fingers.
And lastly, one recent one also that I was quite a fan of. September 9th. How to flirt at the gym. Take sip of sports drink. Say to the lady, this could be you. Slyly letting her know she could also buy sports drink. So yeah, he's really funny. He's I think this is kind of went unsaid, but at Drill, DRIL, is a wild Twitter account that pretty much everyone follows if they're cool.
Yeah, like everybody follows Drill. Everybody knows about Love That Goku.
Somebody will probably mention if in an email if we hadn't mentioned it here, they would probably mention that. But this is sort of like the urban Drill. That's how I would describe DVS.
Yeah, this is like if Drill was a real person who happened to have a really good rap album out on Bandcamp that you could purchase
You can
for
get
money.
it right now if you want. DVTV.
Yeah.
By DVS.
DVTV is so
We
fucking
were not
good.
paid for this advertisement.
All I know is that I'm gonna play it when we drive through Philadelphia, and we're gonna be fucking
You mean
screaming it
Philadelphia?
at the top of our lungs. Yeah, Philadelphia.
Hey.
Hey.
So, I think the podcast is over.
I think you're right.
I think we're just gonna do it for us. Yeah, you can email us about the topic, which is podcast at burndownthesandcastle.info.
Podcast at burndownthesandcastle.info.
Try not to send me drill, because we know about drill. Don't worry about it.
I mean, if you like drill, that's fine.
I mean, if you like drill, that's cool, but like
If
everybody
you got a
knows
real
about
funny
drill.
drill
We're trying
tweet,
to...
maybe if it's real funny and you don't think I've seen it, fuck you. At me. At Rick Rolls Royce. And thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. And this episode should be up a lot sooner than the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were having technical difficulties. Sorry about that.
All right.
We should be fine.
Yeah, catch y'all next time.
Goodbye.
Peace out.
Bye.